Pet keeping has both advantages and disadvantages to us, the owners. Pet owners appear to neither live longer nor suffer more than non-owners, and it seems as if keeping pets is neither adaptive nor maladaptive to humans, just neutral. So how did this behavior come about in the first place? Pet keeping is not a universal trait across the world. First of all, there are a huge range of animals being kept as pets in certain parts of the world, like ostriches, bears, pigs, and bats, that would be considered inappropriate in other parts of the world. Dogs are the most common pet, which is as expected, given that they are the earliest domesticated animal. However, dogs are treated differently depending on the society. Out of the societies that own dogs, less than half of them actually consider the dogs to be pets. And the dogs considered pets were mainly kept for utilitarian purposes and only adequately fed in a handful of cultures. In many societies, dogs were often mistreated and sometimes intentionally killed or eaten. In comparison to other universal human characteristics like language and art, compassion and empathy for animals, as perceived in Western society, does not exist in many other cultures. The range of pets can also vary within the subgroups of a society. Christian households in Tanzania were twice as likely to have dogs as Muslim homes were. And in the Amazon basin, different tribal groups adopted different companion animals. Despite having the same environment and social surroundings, attitudes towards keeping pets and the acceptability of the pet can still vary between individuals. And these variations can be found historically as well as culturally, where fads for different pets can be found within a culture. Short-lived trends for baby turtles, miniature pigs, and pet rocks can be found in American culture. Popularity in puppy breeds also demonstrates a temporary fashion trend rather than a selection for functional traits. These dog breed choices by owners were not based on rational qualities such as low incidence of genetic diseases. Instead, popular breeds had more genetic problems, and those breeds with more desirable behaviors did not become more popular than others. Trends, particularly from media exposure, appears to be the major influence in pet selections. Pet keeping can emerge as a mix of innate predispositions and social learning, rather than evolutionary traits. However, cultural differences and trends do not necessarily discount the evolutionary perspectives. Having a different cultural concept for relationships with other species does not dismiss the relationship itself. Social learning can occur as an adaptation or maladaptation of the current mental or physical environment. What appears to be cultural differences or fashion trends for adopting pets may be manifestations of anthropomorphism on different subjects. When Tom Hanks was stuck on a deserted island, he drew a face on a volleyball and called it Wilson. This is a classic example of anthropomorphizing, where we treat anything remotely similar to humans as having a mind of its own. And we do something similar with animals. Anthropomorphizing other species helped introduce animals in human society, giving way to early domestication. Anthropomorphism can be seen most prominently in the way we communicate with animals. The patterns of language used in pet interactions resemble motherese or infant-directed speech. Things like, "Who's a good boy?" often reserved for children or those presumed to be of a lower level of understanding than adult humans. These infant-directed speech patterns may once have been used to facilitate bonds between infants and their parents, but through anthropomorphism is now also used to form a bond with a pet. But pets were less likely than infants to be treated as an actual conversation partner. If the animal is thought to be more intelligent, owners tend to ask it more questions. Infant-directed speech depends on how the pet is perceived rather than their actual nature. And anthropomorphizing changes depending on your mental state. In the absence of social connections with others, individuals will try and compensate and create a sense of human interaction by either anthropomorphizing non-human agents to be more human-like, or increasing belief in anthropomorphized agents, such as God. For more information on how that works, be sure to check out our series on religiosity. Essentially, like Tom Hanks, the lonelier we are, the more likely we are to anthropomorphize things around us, like our pets. Because social interaction is considered a necessity for mental well-being, Solitude and loneliness levels govern the degree of anthropomorphism experienced. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. If you don't have friends, consider a pet to help with the loneliness, preferably before you start talking to inanimate objects.